All right, everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. So today I wanted to talk about another killer that we could potentially add to Dead by Daylight, and this one would be specifically uh, the shark from Jaws. I know, I know the Vader one was a little bit off the mark, maybe, but I wanted to at least talk about this one and kind of see, what you guys would think, because I did actually find a concept from what's their name? It was thatflyguykaii on Reddit, apparently. So I really wanted to kind of show you guys, what the concept would look like. There you go. I'm gonna probably link it as well in the description, kind of showing it. But yeah. So anyway, so here we have the sort of concept of what they were showing off. So this is apparently how that's gonna look like when they're moving. Basic attack, where it kind of looks like he's like kind of biting. Submerge and plays the global Q. A feeding frenzy, kind of like that. An idle. And it says that they can go under pallets. Window vault is the same animation with the water passing under the other side, which is interesting. Locker check. Ah, okay, so he kind of like hits his head against it and to shake it open. He can pick him up like from. Okay, I like this. The hook. Bro, okay, I kind of like that. He kind of looked like he like for some reason it made me think of like a dolphin or something. Like when he would like. Oh my god. The stun is cool. The pallet break where he like kind of breaks it with his jaws, pretty cool. Gen break, okay. Interesting. Okay, I kind of like that idea. All right. I kind of like the concept here. We have some pretty interesting stuff. The power activation where the fin kind of stands out is kind of cool, and it has like the water that kind of follows along, which is an interesting concept. I like the basic attack being like he tries to kind of bite the survivor. That's kind of cool. The moving looks really cool as well. I just don't know how the water would work. Like kind of like following him around is a little bit interesting, and I don't know how that would be incorporated at all. I feel like Jaws would be so unique. I think like they would really have to think outside the box and sort of like with the realm of like with like Chucky as well. Like I think they would have to make this kind of function a bit like how the wolf form works, like a bit from Dracula kind of thing, where it's like third person camera, and it would have to be something like that, because I don't imagine that being like trying to be in first person. Like what would you put on the screen? Because it's like normally when you're playing a killer you see their hand and their weapon. How would you have a weapon for this? Like it would have to be in third person. I don't think there would be a way for it to work outside of that, in my opinion. Because how would you create first person for a shark? I really don't know. I like the locker check as well. The hook is just hilarious. I don't know what the hell is that. I'm liking it so far. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, that kind of works. Okay, so here's another concept here's another concept that they also had posted, so I'm curious to see what it is. So would move with his own pool of water, be much smaller in game, only outlining his body, so kind of like a little bit of like an aura around him. That is an interesting way to describe it. I do like how it looks. The idea is that the entity is creating a pocket dimension for him to move in. For how it looks, think of Jeff from Rivals or Center Pink from OP. I don't know what that means, but I like the idea that it's kind of like a little like a design on the floor, like of water kind of flowing and creating a pocket dimension. I do like that idea. I think it could potentially work. Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see what else. For the dreaded part, the stairs. I'm curious on staircases. How would that work? He would simply go up them within his pool of water. He can go while his body is submerged. If it was flooded, it wouldn't be hard to have water rushing down the sides. I don't know if DVD would ever do something like this. They did have rain, but rain is one thing. I don't know if they'd ever add like water, you know, like a waterfall or anything. This could be entity magic where the water is grounded level for survivors. Hold on, I was trying to read that. Hold on. Where the water is grounded level for survivors but deep for brute. Okay, that, yeah, because we can definitely have something like that. Asking about how his fall animation would look. He swims off, the puddle disappears, and then he lands. Yeah, that looks really good. I would imagine that. Yeah, he like jumps and then like the pool like opens again and then he lands in it. That would be really interesting. It could be a splash effect, but there's only so much you can do. That is very true. Vaulting was another thing I saw people asking about. It would be the same animation as his submerge, where he can like you can basically have it where it like creates water on the other side, so you know that he's kind of doing that. He would reappear on the ground in front of the window. This way, if he were to fall from the second story, he would have a spawn location on the floor. That would make sense. I can see this. Yeah. How would he hit in his carry animation? He would have to ram them. That makes sense. Yeah, he would. I would say that he could do that because I'm pretty sure that, well, like, you know, we've seen a lot of movies. And I'm pretty sure we've seen Jaws where he could it's a pretty big shark. Like, you could probably ram people. I wouldn't imagine. The carry could be changed to have the survivor on his back. That way his mouth is so free to hit. I wouldn't imagine him being on the back, though. You know, like, I don't think that really makes a lot of sense. I think ramming makes sense, though. Not a concept. I have the animation to be the best. Just wanted to show how it could work. Wasn't expecting this to blow up so much. I think it's my last post on the subject. So, yeah. What's your guys' thoughts on it so far? Like, do you think this is a possible like idea? I never really thought about this as a concept at all until basically seeing this, and I'm honestly a fan. I'm thinking that it could be really cool. I think that, you know, this is definitely in the realm of possibility, and I think that this is something that we can definitely say is plausible, especially when a character like Chucky, who is like a tiny killer doll, like they actually managed to make it work, right? We couldn't even figure out what that would look like, and now, you know, incorporating something like this I think would be interesting. And then obviously we can even talk about stuff like the survivor. We could talk about the map. We could talk about different topics. I haven't seen the Jaws movies in a very long time, so I can't really give anything definitive in terms of names of these characters, but you could potentially pull, you know, from the movies, maybe get like, you know, somebody from there, like the main protagonist, maybe some lifeguards. We already have a lot of beach themed outfits anyway, so it would fit right in, I think. As I also think that it is definitely interesting. I like the idea. I think that it's a really cool one. And, you know, it's definitely it definitely is interesting. I mean, it definitely thinks outside the box, but yeah, like, that's sort of my thoughts on it. I think that it could be really interesting. I think that they really could incorporate this, and I think that, you know, with a game like DBD, like, there is a lot of things that, you know, we really could kind of imagine in that kind of way. Like with Jaws specifically, I think there's a level of creativity there. With like, and I know I've heard a lot of criticisms toward Springtrap as well, and I think that, you know, with a character like that, bringing them into the fog, like, you're trying to, like, a concept like this, like, shout out to this creator here, or this person who posted this, because I you know, hopefully I showed the name on screen, but I'll link it anyway in the description. But basically, shout out to them, because this is what creativity looks like. This is what, you know, coming up with a good idea looks like. And something like people talking about Springtrap being not creative, I think they should look at something like this. Like, make a suggestion that looks like this. You know, like, give us an image, a diagram, like, give us an example so we know what you're trying to say, because there's a lot of, just like, oh, this is lazy and this is terrible, but you never see any examples of how they could improve it. So either way, I appreciate you guys watching up to this point. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things for me, and support with the links in the description. Follow on Twitch to watch and play Killer Live, and I will see you guys in the next video.